You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.
What's going on, good people? Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Rhadi. I wanted to drop some more stuff on you as I talk about these 24 months. In my last Coffee with Rhadi and in my last live video, I talked about the chronological landscape from the age of 5 to 17 or 6 to 18 and those 12 summers that occurred during that time period and the 2 months that are available in those summers. And those 2 months times 12 is actually 24 months. And in that chronological landscape of 24 months, that's the time when parents and children can further their development in certain areas, mainly the area of grittiness, developing more grit. I think Angela Duckworth speaks about this in her book called Grit. And you can use whatever sport or activity that you would like in order to develop this grit, but this grit has to be developed. I'm also in the process of writing a book right now called 24 Months. It's taking me some time. Had a really good time this morning drinking my coffee and writing a bit, but I wanted to share a story with you that did happen in my dojo. A little while ago, there was a young man that came to my dojo he was there with his dad, and he wanted to start doing judo and jiu-jitsu. And it was during the football season, during the fall football season, because my son was playing football at the same time. And I think it was on a Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that, and they came in, and I mean, the intro lesson went great. I mean, he did the arm bars, arm bar drill, the arm bar technique, and did all the stuff. I mean, buff dude, big kid, like a 9th or 10th grader. But I sat down at the end to close, and I was talking with the dad, and we started talking about football. And the dad said, well, we quit the football season because he wasn't playing. I said, you did what? He said, we quit. Yeah, and the kid was like, yeah, I quit because I wasn't playing. I said, what about your teammates? I said, what about being on the scout team? I said, what about developing? What about understanding what it's like to not play and have a good attitude while being on the sideline? I said, what about cheering on your teammates during the game? I said, what about learning the game of football, learning your position, or possibly exploring if another position is good for you? And they was like, yeah, we weren't playing, so it was just a waste of time. I did what I do sometimes in my dojo. I stood up, I extended my hand, and I said, Mr. So-and-so, thank you so much for coming in today and allowing me to share my time and experiences with you and your son. I said, I don't believe that Tampa, Florida Judo will be a good fit for you, because I said, here, we don't want people who are going to quit on their teammates in the middle of a season. I said, then I told him, and I remember I finished with the scripture, but I said, there's value in giving when it doesn't seem like you are going to receive anything in return. I said, and it's more blessed to give than to receive. I stood up. They stood up, man. I walked them out the door, and then I waited a couple more minutes, and then I began practice. I don't want people around me who are conditioned to quit. I'm not saying that every time you sign up for a sport, you have to do the sport for the rest of your life. What I'm saying that as the parent, you are the driver for what occurs in that home. So you tell Jimmy, Johnny, and Lisa, you said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do soccer, or we're going to do football, or we're going to do judo for 90 days, or we're going to do it for 6 months. And then after that 6 months, I'm going to observe what's going on in practice with the coaches. I'm going to observe what happens during the season. I'm going to observe you and your behavior. I will listen to your feedback. I will talk with some of the parents in the environment, and then I will make a decision if you're going to do another 6 months. But you don't get to tell me in between that time, hey, I'm just going to up and quit. Now, of course, you don't have to give me the outlying circumstances. We all understand the outlying circumstances in terms of poor behavior from coaches, abuse, etc. Well, you have to stop doing the sport. We get that. But you don't really have to stop doing the sport. You can stop at that particular place and go to another place and continue to maintain the contractual agreement that you not only made with yourself, but with that particular child. I think these things are important. I think it's important for your children to see the grit that you exemplify by getting them to activities, getting up, making sure that everything is loaded up, making sure the lunches are made and the dinner is made at night, and the schedule is running clear and clean, and also your expectations to them, so for them to show some grittiness in terms of getting the homework done, in terms of getting to practice, in terms of coming home, taking a shower, getting your things ready for the next day. Like, those particular things are important in terms of developing their grit so that they understand how to go through so that they can get through. A lot of people ask me, well, when do your kids get to rest? I said, my kids get to rest all the time. But they don't get to rest when they want to rest. They get to rest because the rest is planned. We plan the rest days. During the cycles or the blocks, the rest days are planned. Because, and I just provided a meme about this because I was going through some quotes from some of the things that I wrote. But having structure does not mean that there's a lack of autonomy. Having structure means that we develop discipline so that when you have full autonomy, when you're an adult, you understand how to be a disciple of excellence because you understand discipline. I have watched, I have observed, and I've seen so many parents make this mistake of just not properly investing the chronological landscape of these 24 months that I will spend my time while I'm here, okay, trying to help people become better through the investment of those 24 months. I just believe that it is that important, 100%. I am not an expert in terms of the child development process. I can tell you that a parent, I probably made some quality, high-level mistakes in terms of parenting. But when I made them 100% full speed. I didn't go halfway. I was 100% full speed, just like I ran the ISO in football. Listen, if you're going to hit the wrong man, you better knock that motherfucker out, okay? That I felt strongly about the position that I had at the time, and I feel just as strong that I made the mistake at that time. All right. And I've apologized to my kids for some of the mistakes that I've made, for the ones that I know. And I've asked them which ones did I make, man, or what have I done, or how can I have done some things better? And that's an iterative process. You're going to always do that as a parent over and over and over again, because your kids are going to tell you some of the things that they liked, some of the things that they didn't like, what they're not going to do with their kids, and based upon what you did with them. And that's cool because it's an iterative process. The parenting should get better over a period of time. I did not parent my children the way that my parents parented me. Ta-da! Nor should you. You take the good, you throw away the bad, and the things get better as they go. That's what I have for you today. All I can tell you is, man, just don't get in the habit of quitting all the time when things get difficult. We have seen it in society in some of the major institutions that we have. One of the major institutions being marriage, where people go through this whole thing of quitting very, very early, and they get caught in what I call the happiness conundrum, where they believe that they should be happy. Yeah, you shouldn't be happy. You have the right to pursue happiness.
You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, 4-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.